Welcome to today's practice. This practice is going to be something kind of fun. We are going to do nothing but props. So props are a really good thing to have and to use in any of your yoga practices. You don't have to wait for the instructor or the teacher to say, hey, go get a prop. If you need a prop or you want to use a prop to help you, then props are really fantastic. So the props that we're going to be using today, we're going to be using 2 blocks and oopsies, a strap, and then a blanket that's rolled up. Now, you have to go out and buy lots of props and spend lots of money. I would recommend, if you don't have them, at least invest in a good pair of blocks. They're not that expensive. You can get them on Amazon, go to your local like Target type store, 15 bucks you can buy a set of blocks. If you don't have a strap, something that you can use in its place is maybe you have like a dish towel or a hand towel that you can use. Really the purpose of a strap is to help extend your limbs, extend your arms so that you can reach better, especially when you're trying to stretch out your legs, okay? So something that you can hang on to, or even like if you have a scarf. A scarf is a really good thing to use as a substitute for a strap. Now for the blanket, I recommend you just roll it up and push it towards the end of the mat because we're going to be using it towards the end of the practice. If you don't have like a yoga blanket, then grab like a throw blanket off the bed and roll it up, or even like a bath towel or a beach towel and roll it up. It's still something that you can use that will be the same as using a blanket. So to begin with, we're going to start in mountain pose. And we're just going to come up to the front of the mat. We're going to want our 2 blocks really close by us today. And really root down through your feet, down, keep your hips pointing forward, your knees and your ankles aligned, and your feet pointing forward, okay? Really root down deep into your feet and come into mountain pose. Make sure that your shoulders are out of your ears rather than your ears out of your shoulders. Yeah, so make sure your shoulders are down your back and out of your ears. And we're just going to inhale up and come into a forward bend, a forward fold. Now, here's where we can use blocks. Blocks are so good for helping us bring the floor up to us so that we don't have to go as deep into some of these postures. So, in a forward fold, you just take your 2 blocks, place your hands right on the blocks. You can still give yourself a little bend in the knees, and now you can go into this posture, maintaining a nice long length in your back without having to like try to reach the floor, especially if you have a tight back or back injuries. Now, from here, typically we're going to come up into a halfway lift. And usually when we do a halfway lift, we can come up into our shins or up onto our thighs to really still get length. You can use the blocks. You come up on your tippy fingers and get some length through your spine that way. And then we're going to go back down into your forward fold. From here, I just want you to root down into your feet really good, and we're going to rise back up into full mountain pose. Okay, so let's do that again, okay? We're going to be using the blocks. So inhale your arms up, exhale down to forward fold, plant the hands on the blocks, extend your spine, inhale halfway lift, exhale forward fold. All right, let's do that one more time just to warm ourselves up. So we're going to root down to rise, and we're going to rise up into mountain pose. Exhale down through heart center. So inhale, hands up. Exhale down into forward fold. Are we inhaling or exhaling? Exhale down. Inhale up into halfway lift, and exhale down into forward fold. So from here, I want you to take your left foot, your left leg, and come on back into a high lunge. Now let's bring our blocks with us. We want them beside our feet today. So in a high lunge position, this is really good because now you can have more extension through your arms and get more length and extension through your spine, rather than coming all the way down to the ground where you're going to really sink down into your hip. The blocks will help to lift you up out of that. Okay, so let's just stay here for a moment, make sure we got our balance. We're going to do a couple of twists. All right, I'm just going to make sure I got my balance. All right, so I want you to take your right hand on your block and open up into an open twist. We'll just stay here for a few breaths. And exhale it down. Now, one of the things you can do with your block, so there's 3 settings basically for a block. You have your short setting, your medium setting, and your high setting. So depending on where you're at with your flexibility and ability to reach the ground is going to depend on where you want to put that block, okay? For me, I'm good on the low setting. So bring your left hand and block a little closer into your foot. Put yourself back into that position of a high lunge. And now we're going to open up into a revolved twist. Make sure you are really rooting down through the ball of your back foot, that your front leg is at a 90 degree. You don't want to extend that knee out over your toes at all. You definitely don't want to splay it out to the side either. And we're going to come back down. Now taking those blocks with us a little bit. Come on back up into a forward fold. Come into a halfway lift. Get yourself a little extension in your spine. Forward fold. Root down through your feet and rise up into mountain pose. So now let's try that with the blocks on the other side. So make sure you're grounding down into your feet again. I'm kind of readjusting myself here. And inhale up, exhale down, forward fold. Get your block situated. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale down. Take that right foot back into a high lunge, bringing the blocks to come on either side of your left foot. Make sure you got your balance. Again, 90 degrees. You don't want your knee over your toes or splaying out to the side. You want it over your ankle. So with your left hand on the block, we're going to open up into an open twist. And stay here for just a few breaths. And exhale it down. Bring this right hand and block a little closer to your foot. Again, making sure everything's aligned. And open up into a revolved twist. And exhale that hand down. Bring the blocks with you and step back up into forward fold. Inhale, give a halfway lift. Excuse me. Exhale, forward fold. Root down into your feet and rise up into mountain pose. Okay, so for this next posture, we're going to come into Yogi Squat. We're going to use a block. So bring your feet out about as wide as the mat. You can have your toes splaying out just a little bit. And we're going to squat down. Now, you can use the block to sit on. This is nice, especially if you want to stay here for a while and be in a more of a restorative type pose here, because now you can really get into your feet. If you want to get your sits bones nice and firm on the block, extend through the spine, bring your elbows into your knees. And while you're pushing with your elbows to open up those hips, you're also using your legs to push against it. So you're having a little bit of a battle between your arms and legs here. And we'll just stay here for a few breaths. Now what I want you to do is just gently lift up the bum, take out that block, and bring yourself down into a seated position. I'm going to scooch myself back just a touch. So we're not completely done with the blocks. We're going to need one here in just a few minutes. But for right now, we're going to switch to the strap. So like I said, the strap, what that helps us do is it helps us to get extension and length through our limbs, right? So for like a one-legged forward fold, we're going to take our left foot up into our thigh. So kind of like we're doing a tree pose, but we're going to be doing it on the ground, right? And we're going to stretch out our right leg. You want to stretch the calf, stretch the hamstring. Now, you want to have your bum, your sits bones firmly on the ground, really root down there. Extend your toes slightly back so you're getting a little bit of a stretch. And you're going to make sure that your spine is straight. You really want that length between your root to your crown. So really from your tailbone all the way up, nice long length. Now, typically, depending on how flexible you are, I know for me, this is about as far as I can go, and that's okay. Some people can go further, but the point here for these types of postures is not to really bend down and make sure your nose can touch your knee. That's really not the point of these types of postures. The point is still to keep the integrity of the spine, to keep it long and straight, and to get a nice stretch to the back of the leg. So this is where the strap can come in. We're going to place it around the ball of your foot. And this is where now I can still get a nice length in my spine, but now I can go just a little bit deeper into that stretch. And I can still maintain the integrity of the posture without rounding the back or hurting my low back. And we're just going to stretch out this leg for just a moment. That's good. Okay, and now we're going to remove that strap, switch positions of the legs, readjust yourself to make sure that your bum, your sits bones are nice and firm and rooted down into the ground. So again, we want to make sure that we're having that length between our tailbone, our root, all the way up through our crown to maintain that nice long length in our spine. We are going to place the strap around the ball of our left foot. Give ourselves a nice little bit of a flex there. And with a nice long spine, let's just hinge forward from the hips. Make sure your hip joints are the ones moving and you're not really, we don't want to crunch our low back. And gently just come back up, remove the strap. Go ahead and lay down on your mat and grab one block. So for this posture, bring your knees in, and we're going to come into, for just a moment, a supported bridge. So you want to make sure that your feet are in line with your hips, your knees are in line with your ankles, and just gently lift. Place that block under your low back, that sacrum area, that little triangle at the base of your spine there. And I want you to raise your right foot up, and we're just going to gently place that right ankle over the left knee and open up into a modified figure four. This is a really good stretch for your hips, and to do it on a block is really nice. This kind of gives it a little bit more, I don't know, I feel like I can go a little deeper into the posture than just being on the ground. And you just place your right hand gently on your side and just give it a nice little bit of a push, nothing heavy. Bring that leg back in, place it back on the ground, and let's do that with the other leg. So raise up your left foot for just a moment, bend the knee, and place that ankle over the opposite knee thigh area. And gently give your left thigh a tiny little push. Get a little bit of stretch into your hips here. And ever so gently place that foot back on the ground, lift up the hips and remove the block. So now we're down to the last prop we have today to start learning how to use. We're going to be using that blanket. So the first posture, we're going to be using the blanket up towards the front of your mat. I want you to place it underneath your back. For women, basically it's right about where your bra strap would hit, or for men, it's kind of right at the bottom of your shoulder blades, okay? So place it right there and gently lean back over it. We're gonna get ourselves into a nice little heart chest opener. If this is a little too much, unroll your blanket a little bit, okay? So you don't want to be in pain, you don't want to cause any discomfort while you're in this position. You just want to have a nice, relaxing chest opener. And for me, I'm going to go ahead and just cactus my arms open. Oh, this was so good. And just enjoy just the opening of the chest right here. And we'll stay here for just a few breaths and just enjoy the moment. All right, just another couple of breaths here. Gently just lift yourself up. We're going to remove the blanket, and now we're moving it down to underneath our knees. We're going to use this for our last posture, which is Shavasana. Anytime you're in Shavasana, you want to raise up the knees a little bit. You can even use it underneath your ankles. This is so wonderful because it helps to alleviate some of the stress on your back. I have a girlfriend that really has a hard time, and so she loves to have a blanket underneath her legs and her knees, especially when we get into Shavasana. All right, so just get yourself nice and long and settle. And we'll just stay here for just a few moments. just roll over onto our side and bring yourself back up into a sitting position. And the great thing is we have a blanket right here, so I'm going to go ahead and sit up on the blanket. So as you can see, that was just a quick practice just to show some of the different ways that you can use a prop within your practice. Again, it doesn't have to be, go out and spend money on the yoga prop. You have lots of things around the house that can work for that prop as well. But the props are really there to help you. You know your body, you know whether or not you can go deep into a posture or you shouldn't be going deep into a posture. And the props are there to help you have a good, healthy practice and really keep your body where it needs to be for you. So I hope you enjoyed this little practice of nothing but props today. If you have enjoyed this one or any of my other videos, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're looking for more ways to incorporate self-care and stress relief into your life, please click the link below and you will be sent an absolutely free self-care planner and guide. So, as always, thank you for joining me today. Until next time.